What's going on, guys? Patrick here, bringing you a brand new video. Today we've got another killer video for you guys, full of information. Today we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin halving is finally here. We're going to be looking at some price analysis as well as tons of other news that went on in the cryptocurrency space. But guys, as always, before we get started with that, if you guys are interested in making money with cryptocurrencies, make sure you check out the first link in the description or the first link in the comments for the cryptocurrency trade alert group. I post every single one of the trades that myself and my team enters in this group, so that if you're a complete beginner, if you don't have time to do technical analysis or you don't know how to do technical analysis, you can copy our exact trade. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up, and after that, profits are taken automatically for you. So it becomes very, very passive. We have altcoin trades, we have leverage trades, and we have the #1 community in the cryptocurrency space, full of people ready and able to answer any question that you have 24/7. We also have a free trial for 14 days, so you can try this completely risk-free. No reason not to give it a go and see what it's like in there. And if for some crazy reason you are either not able to follow the trade successfully, or you just simply don't enjoy being part of the group for whatever reason, you can simply cancel and you will avoid getting charged. It's as easy as that. Can't wait to see a ton of you guys in there. I know a lot of you guys have already joined and have been able to see and were able to participate particularly in our most recent trade, which was a short, which we got in at around 8:30 a.m. my time, Eastern time, right? So that was roughly around this candle. That was this candle you can see with the long wick. We were able to enter between the $8,800 to $8,950 range, in that area. And then from there, you see what happened next. It was a short. We were able to collect profits all the way down. Our last target was $8,350. And so a 6.6% move, if you were using a 10x leverage, that's a 66% move. So congratulations to everybody that was in that trade. And again, I can't wait to see more of you guys in the group. Let's take a look at what exactly the price is looking like right now, what exactly the price has been doing previously, and what we can expect with the halving coming up. Because it's been years, for a lot of people, it's been years since they've been in the space and have been waiting and hearing about the next bull run that's coming because of the Bitcoin halving. And they've been waiting for hundreds of days, seeing hundreds of days on the countdown, and it's finally down to 0 days. And we're gonna focus on that in just a little bit. But let's take a look at what the Bitcoin price is doing on the 1 hour. We broke below just recently. We broke below the EMA ribbon. So obviously a bearish trend on the 1 hour. That is a micro time frame. I call it 1 hour. To me still is a very volatile and is a smaller time frame. Once we go look at the 4 hour, and specifically the daily and the weekly, that's when you start seeing the bigger time frames where we can expect bigger moves depending on what exactly if we cross the EMA ribbons, right? We can expect bigger moves. So let's zoom out into the 4 hour and see what exactly that's looking like. Similar thing as well. With this big drop, usually the 4 hour and the 1 hour are both gonna cross when we have a drop this big. And we're gonna hint on this drop. We're gonna talk about something important with it in just a little bit as well. But you'll notice breaking down below the EMA ribbon. So on the 4 hour, we are also looking more bearish than we are bullish. But daily time frame, if you guys remember last video, what I said specifically about this resistance was that we had a candle come up. Yes, we saw one candle in, and on the daily time frame, if we're looking at these resistances, we want confirmation. We don't just want one candle. And unfortunately, on a daily time frame, that can take a few days for us to see that confirmation come in. But what we had happen was Bitcoin ripped right back down into the EMA ribbon, in which we had a big gap between the price and the EMA ribbon. It came right back in to test the support. You can see the 2 wicks. It found strong support. Let's see exactly how it does play out. Like I said, the 2 wicks here show that we have a good amount of support, and that as of right now, it would take a lot of selling pressure in order to get the price to continue to drop. Now, that tying in with this big move, let's see what happened on the CME futures chart. Bitcoin has, I believe, its biggest CME futures gap ever. I might be wrong, but I believe it's the biggest one ever. We can just do the price calculation here so we can take a look at what it looks like from all the way down here to over here. That's a 10% drop, a $1,030 drop of it just in that gap. Right? That gap is a 10% gap, a $1,000 gap. And you guys know CME futures, the gaps, we like to fill them more often than we don't. We usually fill them 99% of the time they're filled, and more likely, more often than not, they are filled sooner rather than later. So does that mean Bitcoin has room to move right up to the upside? Of course, Bitcoin touched 10K recently, all the hype that's coming in. it's very possible. What I'm looking at in these smaller time frames again is, remember how I said that Bitcoin at the current level right now, I found support on the daily time frame with the EMA ribbon. If we do break below, there is, if you look at the VPVR, there's not a lot of buying and selling going on, not a lot of volume going on. Quite a ways down to the 7,000, mid 7,000 level, right? Mid to high 7,000, 7,500 to $7,700. There's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of volume within that. So a little bit of selling pressure, and we can see Bitcoin rip right back down if it's going to the downside into those levels. And you guys know I like to give you guys both scenarios. I want to give you guys look at the areas that we can actually identify and keep an eye out on in case we break either way, because I know people want me to just say prediction $100,000 tomorrow. I can't do that. It could go either way. You can't control what whales do. You can't control what the market does. So it's best to have a game plan either way. That's how you end up being successful. I can't emphasize that enough. The way to be successful is have a game plan for both scenarios. That way, no matter what happens, you're in a position and you can capitalize and you can profit. But with Bitcoin doing all that, recently, the last 24 hours, it's up 1.38%. It had that huge drop. It's coming up a little bit now. If you go check the chart again, you saw a little bit how there was a wick on the bottom. The price is starting to bounce back up after, thankfully, again, we hit all of our targets. It's up 1.39%, but with the recent drop and everything going on, the price action being very volatile leading up to the halving, you're starting to notice that altcoins are having a similar effect. We see some altcoins up 4%. We see some down 4%. Overall, it's very chaotic because of how much volatility there is in the market, and then specifically during this time, because the eyes are all on Bitcoin, waiting to see what Bitcoin's going to do. Is Bitcoin going to explode? Is Bitcoin going to 100,000? All of that going on. People are keeping an eye out on Bitcoin, a little less on altcoins, but the volatility is going to be there nonetheless. And volatility, as you guys know, means money, right? It means you can make money. It means opportunity, which is obviously great. But let's go into the halving. Look at what we have on the countdown. 0 days. It's been a long time. It's been, when I first started looking at this, it was hundreds of days. Now it's 0 days. 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 18 seconds. So by the time you guys are watching this video, the halving would have already occurred. I usually post at 3 p.m. My time. That's in 2 hours and 4 minutes. So by the time you guys are watching this video, this countdown will have officially hit 0. And we're at that event. Now, what exactly is going to happen during that event? Well, a lot of good things in the macro time frame. Now, a lot of people are using the stock to flow graph as an indication of what happens, because previously the halving has occurred around this area, right? And then from there, you'll notice the price just continues to move up. Similar things set over here, and the price goes up. And looking at the history, the price history, we've seen the price move up significantly every time there was a halving. Does that mean it's going to move up tomorrow? No, and that's something I want to emphasize a lot, is that make sure you know that if Bitcoin drops $500 tomorrow, make sure you understand that that's volatility, and that long term, I still expect Bitcoin to be, obviously not giving you financial advice, not telling you guys what to do, but I do expect long-term Bitcoin to perform very well. Just because we hit the halving does not mean that we're done seeing red days. We can definitely still see more red days in the future. It's just part of how the market flows and how the market cycles, right? But with everything going on long-term, like I said, we expect to see the Bitcoin price go up. And if the stock to flow model is correct and we do continue on this trend, you'll notice we usually overshot the purple by a little bit. So the purple line would indicate that we would hit the price of $100,000 per Bitcoin. You'll notice we were at 10,000 here. We actually got up higher, obviously, to the all-time high of 20,000. Now we're looking at 100,000, and it is being said again that if we do overshot it by a little bit, we could see Bitcoin end up at a price of $100,000 to $150,000 to $200,000 per Bitcoin, which would be insane. I'm not confirming that's going to happen. That's not by any means what I'm doing. I'm very happy if it does. I'll be a very happy man. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be very happy if that happens as well. So overall, we're going to be rooting for this to happen, and preferably we'll be making money along the way too. Imagine if you get a 10x long from Bitcoin at 10K all the way to $100,000. The problem is you got to be able to dollar cost average your entry. You got to be able to position things correctly, because just because we're at 10K doesn't mean we're not going to go to 7.5K before we go to $100,000. just giving you guys an idea of how the market works and trying to engrave that, because every single video I see on YouTube is only people talking about Bitcoin straight to $1 million, straight to $200,000. Nobody is talking, preparing people for the possibility of Bitcoin also having red days in between. You know, what's going to happen is people are going to get in, Bitcoin's going to drop $500 to $1,000, they're going to get out, then Bitcoin's going to reverse because they had weak hands, their Bitcoin's going to reverse, it's going to go up to whatever it is it ends up at, and people are going to have lost money, right? They would have lost that $500,000 per Bitcoin. And that's not what we want to see happen. Obviously, I make these videos to educate, to give you guys an idea of what I'm looking at, to give you guys, you know, hopefully to entertain as well, but to entertain, to educate, and to give you guys a behind the scenes look at what it is that I'm doing. That's the sole reason I do this. And so I want to give you guys full transparency. I expect Bitcoin to do great things in the future, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to see a little bit of red in between. It would not surprise me at all. Now, this article, a little bit crazy, but we're seeing people predict a Bitcoin collapse of up to down to $1,760 before it sees a major rally. Now, remember how I said we could have drops before a major rally. $1,760 is a little further down than I would expect. This would surprise me. You know how I said I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dropped a little before a rally? $1,760 would surprise me. So I don't think that's going to happen. But again, it is important to keep an eye out on how things are looking. And this is based off of their own analysis. I don't think this analysis is going to happen. I don't think it's going to play out the way they're expecting, just because it doesn't make sense for Bitcoin to drop that much. Whales don't want Bitcoin to drop that much. And usually whales are going to dictate at least the levels that we are going to play at, because they're the ones with the majority of the money. So whales don't want to see it drop that much. People don't want to see it drop. People are looking into Bitcoin more. The interest is going up. The trends on Google, on the Google trends, that's going up. A lot of excitement is being built around. So small drops, $1,000, $2,000 maybe, but big drops down to $1,000, probably not. The big moves are probably going to be going to the upside. So that's obviously something we want to keep an eye out on. But guys, with the halving going on right now, let me know your guys' price predictions for Bitcoin. Let's say 1 year down the line. Let's say, what day is it today? I forget what day it is today. Let's take a look. May 11th, 2021. What do you expect the price of Bitcoin to be at? Do you think we're going to be getting to 6 figures? Do you think that's possible? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Leave a thumbs up if you did. Again, let me know your predictions down below, and be subscribed and have your notifications turned on if you guys want to check back in to see more videos that we have in the future, to keep you guys updated with everything going on. And as always, if you have any if you guys have any video recommendations and video things that you want to see, let me know those in the comments as well. And I'd be more than happy to make videos around whatever it is that's going to help you guys most and provide you the most value. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another video.